Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Dimitri Johnson, and you're listening to MMALatestNews.com.
It's time to roll, baby.
MMA latest, where once again we have some more Conor McGregor news breaking to us in the last 24 hours, where he is once again acting the complete and utter fool. Breaking news is that a video leaked of him assaulting an elderly man in a pub about we don't know what, but it seems to be the latest line in things that, if I'm being honest, seem to be tarnishing the legacy of Mr. McGregor himself. If we look at the timeline of things over the past several years, we start with the bus attack in April, which for me was the final straw for me. I don't know. There's a lot of people out there who still back Conor McGregor, still believe in him. And it's hard for me to say this as well as a guy who, you know, living in Ireland, growing up in Ireland, he really did, and the whole world as well. He captured the imagination. He brought the eyes of everyone to the sport of MMA. I mean, the pubs would be doing lock-ins till 6 in the morning. People would stay up. Even if you weren't an MMA fan, you'd stay up for these fights. I mean, I remember the Aldo fight, staying up. I think it was the same night as the Joshua Dillian White fight. We were there from 7 in the evening till 6 in the morning, and everyone losing their mind when he knocked out Aldo. The same as well for the Diaz rematch as well. Everyone losing their minds when he won that as well. But this stuff like this, once again, will... put it this way, greater sportsmen have had their reputations ruined for stuff like this. You know, you started the bus attack back in April for me, and this was for me the end of the line, my end of the line with Conor McGregor. You look at, and it wasn't the whole fact with the Khabib, you know, McGregor thing. In my opinion, with stuff like MMA, all is fair in love and war. But when you take into consideration guys like Ray Borg, who had a baby in the hospital, unable to pay their phone bills, or Michael Chiesa, among others, you know, Chiesa got caught on the bus, but Ray Borg especially, to take someone out of action like that over something as needless, throwing, you know, a bus attack. I know you have to sell a fight. I understand that. But it's just gone too far now at this stage. He's gone from being the humble lad from Crumlin who came from nothing new. And that's why we all loved him. That's why everyone loved him. He was this guy seeking job seekers allowance a week before his MMA debut. Starching people, fighting, not caring who he fought. And you know what? I don't even hate him for not fighting that much, to be honest, because he's got his money. He had the Mayweather fight. Who can hate him for taking that Mayweather fight? No one can. But you look at this now. I mean, you only have to look at the video yourself. And Michael Bisping said it best himself, you know, on his podcast, that you're going to get into altercations when you're a professional fighter because people know who you are. And to be honest, it didn't even look like the L lad was instigating it whatsoever. But to even just what goes through someone's head when you're the biggest sports star, I'd say, on the planet, rival the likes of Lionel Messi or Ronaldo or LeBron James or whoever you want to say. You go down the list as well. You know, he gets his ban on January 6th, and then there's other stuff like the phone smashing incident, which, you know, I suppose isn't the worst in the world when you look at the broader spectrum of things. And then there's obviously the stuff, these allegations, which, you know, you can't say too much about that. You know, you're innocent until proven guilty and so on and so forth. But it's the fact as well. I mean, we saw with a couple of weeks ago when posting up stuff on Twitter, still about the Khabib fight, moaning that, holding my shorts or holding the cage or whatever it was, something like that. Mate, take this loss like you took the Diaz first loss. Do a quick turnaround and go back into fight camp. I just don't get it. If he's the man who he says he is, then he'd be straight back in. And you know what? It doesn't matter if he got starched in the first fight. He's still the biggest star in the sport. He's still going to get that rematch with Khabib if he wants it. Because who else is going to sell a pay-per-view? Not Dustin Poirier. That's not going to sell pay-per-views. It's going to be a great fight, but it's not going to sell pay-per-views. You know, the Max Holloway fight, great fight on paper. I don't think that's selling much pay-per-views either in the, you know, the WME age that we have now, where pay-per-view buys are going down the toilet. McGregor's the only one that can sell a pay-per-view these days. Now, we'll see this Saturday for UFC 241, which we will be doing a watch-along for on Saturday night at 3 a.m, so stay tuned for that as well. Whether that will break a decent pay-per-view mark. But Conor McGregor, as he's acting now, and there's been a couple of YouTubers, you know, True Geordie did a video yesterday, finally him, you know, giving his thoughts, a guy supporting McGregor all the way. And I'm kind of in that camp as well, where this is literally one step too far. It's indefensible. at this stage. You know, when the sport of MMA started breaking in Ireland, when Conor brought the eyes to it, people's thoughts were, oh, it's human cockfighting and stuff like that. Look at this lad, he's a scumbag who's just human cockfighting. And he proved them all wrong. He proved he made something of himself, didn't he? From job seekers to being the biggest sports star on the planet. And that's the McGregor people want to see. But now it's just a case of publicity stunts. I don't know what it is. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments as well, because, I mean, I can't think personally where he goes from here, because I don't think they can give... And Dana White as well, I have to say, coming out, and I know Dana White has to protect his biggest... he has to protect his biggest star. But I think he came out today as well. Well, people in Ireland getting pub fights all the time. Are you fucking for real, man? You look at Paul Daly as well. Paul Daly was kicked out of the UFC for, was it punching Josh Koscheck after the bell? And I understand Paul Daly isn't the same draw as Conor McGregor. But when you've got this litany of offences, the bus attack for me, I was amazed at how he wasn't let go from this. And I don't think he'll be let go by this anyway. But it really is. He is starting to lose people who have been behind him. And I will find it interesting for his next fight where he goes, or what the atmosphere will be like. Because people won't be tuning in to see Conor McGregor win. People will be tuning in to see Conor McGregor get knocked the fuck out. And it's been like that. It was like that for the Khabib fight as well. You even look at the Khabib, even look at the way he handles himself in press conferences. The Khabib fight, and I understand the atmosphere wasn't quite there with no fans. But the whole thing was a fucking publicity stunt for his whiskey. And I understand it's probably the smart thing to do with all the eyes of, you know, the world on him. But fuck me, man. It used to be about fighting. Not caring who you fought, when you fought. He went up to 170 to fight Nate Diaz. And he went back and he did it again. Where's that Conor McGregor now? Is he happy to sit on top of his money? Is he happy to just tarnish his legacy with stuff like this? I don't know, to be honest. Let me know in the comments, guys, where you think Conor McGregor goes from here. I can't see him fighting Khabib again, to be honest. Don't make no mistake, they'll give him a title fight if the opportunity arises. I think Khabib will beat Dustin Poirier in Abu Dhabi in September. And I don't know who the next, contender is. Tony Ferguson, I don't think they can make that fight again. I don't think, there's anyone else underneath there. I don't think you can't give it to someone like Edson Barbosa. You've got Tony Ferguson, you've got Dustin Poirier, and then you've got a big, drop off in standard after that, to be honest. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Matthew Early saying he's despised in Dublin for a while now. Yeah, mate, he has been despised in Dublin for a while. I can't say I've been here for 2 years myself, but judging from what my mates are saying back home, they're starting to lose hope as well. Around town, he's still, he's balling, he's acting like the playboy going around in his convertible and so on and so forth. But you feel he needs that reality check now at this stage. Because so far it's just a complete and utter farce. These fines they're getting slapped with 6-month bans. 6-month bans in MMA are an absolute joke when you consider if you get knocked out, you're out for 6 months anyway. Fighters fight only 3 times a year, so that's once every 4 months at best. Conor McGregor fights once every 18 months at this stage. And don't get me, I'm not going to knock him, for not being active. I mean, he's sitting on top of that money. He doesn't need to. But at least, you just the way he's carrying himself for me is just embarrassing, to be honest. And it's upsetting for me more than anyone because I used to be, I was one of those guys as well. I couldn't understand why people hated him. I couldn't understand why people would call him a scumbag, because how could you call him a scumbag? He was a working class lad who had to fight his way through. And you know what it's like for amateur MMA fighters. It's awful. And for him to, he got himself into the UFC. He talked the talk, but he walked the walk as well. And then the Nate Diaz fight, that trilogy. I mean, that trilogy fight could have been something massive. And obviously, he took the Mayweather fight, and he took the Khabib fight then as well. But that fight's lost all its steam as well. I mean, who's there left for Conor McGregor to fight at this stage? Toxic Cowboy Cerrone, yeah, that would probably sell. But he can't go for gold. He's not going to go up to 170. Not a chance. Can you imagine what Kamaru Usman would do to him? Or drop to one. I don't think he can cut to 145 anymore. I don't think his body type is, capable of it. But let me see what you guys are saying in the comments anyway. Tyler Davis, it's not that bad, to be honest. Yeah, but you have to understand that it's not just this. It's almost the straw that broke that broke the camel's back. it's been going on for a while now, and it's just, it's awful to see because I hate hating Conor McGregor. I really do. He's an Irish sporting hero at this stage, but he's destroying that title with the crap he's doing now. Let's see. I think he'll fight again, but wouldn't be shocked if he didn't. Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he did. I do still think he does want to fight. I think he's the kind of guy who would, I think he knows himself, would go completely off the rails if he didn't have something like a fight camp or something like that to give him organisation in his life. But like I said, who's there left? Let me know in the comments, guys, who you think is the only, or who McGregor's next fight is, to be honest. For me, I'm saying probably, I don't really see him sticking in the cage again with Khabib. I don't see it going any other way. The Cerrone fight is something that could be fun, bit of history there, but bar that, I think we could see about 2 or 3 more fights from Conor McGregor, and that's about it. Real deal. What's embarrassing is when the majority of Dublin voters... no, not getting into that. Fuck's sake. Let's see. Only reason Conor is still on the UFC roster is because he sells pay-per-views. I think it's gotten to a stage now where the UFC needs Conor more than Conor needs the UFC, and it's been like that for a while now. You look at some of the pay-per-view numbers from the WME IMG era. It's because the UFC aren't pushing. They're trying hard now, and they are doing a good job of it, I think. Well, not doing a good job of it, but they are trying to... they're backing a lot of like the Adesanyas and the Usmans. They're going to be like the face of African MMA, and I think that's probably what they have to do now. They have to start creating new stars because Conor's going to be there, like I said, for 1 or 2 more fights, and then he's going to go. He's probably going to do movies. He'll probably do movies, sit on top of his money, but that's not going to last forever. Fight True Geordie, says someone in the comments. I'm sure True Geordie would love that. I'm sure True Geordie would love that content for his channel, as we all would. But anyway, guys, that's all from me today. Anyway, let me know your opinions in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. Reminder, again, we will be doing a watch-along of UFC 241 on Saturday Night Live from 3 a.m. for the Miocic DC card. And we'll see you then. Cheers.